You're hearing these words right now because your soul has been calling out for answers. That restless feeling in your chest when you think about them, that's not just longing, it's recognition. The universe has orchestrated this moment because you're ready to understand what's really happening beneath the surface of your connection. That person who occupies your thoughts isn't just someone you miss. They're a mirror reflecting back parts of yourself you're either discovering or learning to embrace. When you feel that inexplicable pull toward them, even in their silence, what you're actually sensing is the invisible thread that connects destined souls. But here's what you need to understand about threads. They can stretch, they can tangle, but they never truly break. Right now, the space between you isn't empty. It's filled with all the unspoken growth you're both undergoing. Their distance isn't rejection. It's the universe's way of giving them room to become someone who can truly meet you where you are. Think of it like this. When a caterpillar enters its cocoon, it appears to disappear from the world. But what's actually happening is far more miraculous than mere absence. You've been asking why they can't just see what's right in front of them. But consider this. Maybe they do see it more clearly than you realize. Maybe what looks like hesitation is actually reverence. When we encounter something truly precious, something that could change everything, our first instinct isn't always to reach out. Sometimes it's to pause, to make sure we don't ruin it with our rough edges. The dreams you've been having about them aren't just fantasies, they're visitations. In that realm beyond waking life, your souls continue their conversation uninterrupted by fears or ego. That's why you wake up with such vivid memories sometimes. It's the universe's way of reminding you that the connection persists, even when physical communication falters. That sudden rush of emotion you feel when their name appears somewhere unexpected, that's not coincidence. That's resonance. Your energy recognizes theirs on a vibrational level, and that reaction is proof that what exists between you isn't just in your imagination. Real connections leave energetic signatures that don't fade with time or distance. When you find yourself missing them most intensely, try this shift in perspective. Instead of interpreting the ache as absence, recognize it as presence. The depth of your longing is actually the measure of their ongoing impact on your heart. True connections aren't diminished by space. They're defined by their ability to persist across it. The signs you've been noticing, songs on the radio, repeated numbers, unexpected reminders, these aren't random occurrences. They're winks from the universe, confirmations that you're on the right path. The more you acknowledge them, the more they'll appear. This is how spiritual guidance works, not with flashing lights and booming voices, but through subtle patterns that speak directly to your intuition. Their social media silence or delayed responses aren't indicators of fading interest. More likely, they're evidence of internal wrestling. When someone encounters a connection that challenges their emotional patterns, the natural response isn't to lean in immediately. First comes resistance, then confusion, then gradual acceptance. What you're witnessing is this process unfolding in real time. That moment when you nearly reached out but stopped yourself. That wasn't fear talking, that was wisdom. There are times when restraint serves love better than pursuit. By giving them this space, you're actually honoring the connection more than you would by forcing communication. True bonds can withstand seasons of quiet because their foundation exists beyond constant validation. The frustration you feel when they don't meet your expectations isn't a sign that something's wrong. It's an invitation to examine those expectations themselves. Often, we don't realize how much we've projected onto someone until life gives us an opportunity to separate what's real from what we've imagined. This space is giving you that clarity. When you catch yourself replaying memories, you're not just reminiscing. You're unconsciously seeking clues, signs that what you felt was real. Here's the truth you need to hear. If you're still analyzing moments months or years later, that's all the confirmation you should need. Fleeting attractions fade from memory. Life-changing connections leave permanent impressions. They're mixed. Signals aren't about you. They're about the war between their hearts' knowing and their minds' uncertainty. The push-pull you're experiencing is the visible manifestation of that internal conflict. When someone's heart recognizes what their mind isn't ready to accept, this is how it plays out in behavior. It's not games, it's growing pains. That text you almost sent but deleted. They felt it anyway. Energy doesn't need physical channels to travel. On some level, they received the essence of what you wanted to communicate. This is why you'll sometimes hear from them right when you've been thinking about them intensely. Energy precedes action in the unseen realms where true connection lives. The dates that haven't worked out, the plans that fell through, these weren't rejections, they were divine delays. The universe knows exactly when two souls should collide, and it won't be rushed by human impatience. What feels like frustration now will make perfect sense when you look back from the other side of this journey. Your friends don't understand why you can't just move on. That's because they're not feeling what you're feeling. Soul connections defy conventional logic. They operate on a frequency that can't always be explained to those who haven't experienced it themselves. Trust what you know in your bones over what others see from the outside. The songs that remind you of them aren't just nostalgic. They're messages. Music operates in the language of the soul, bypassing logic to speak directly to the heart. When certain lyrics hit you with unexpected force, pay attention. These are often the universe's way of delivering insights we're not yet ready to receive through other means. That photo of them you keep coming back to. Look beyond the image. What you're actually connecting with is the energy captured in that moment. An energy that still exists and still connects you, regardless of current circumstances. Photos are more than memories. They're energetic bookmarks in the story you're co-creating. When you dream of them, you're not just imagining scenarios. You're visiting a plane where your souls communicate freely, unconstrained by time, distance, or ego. These encounters are just as real as your waking interactions. Sometimes more so because they occur in a space where truth isn't filtered through fear. Their past relationships aren't threats to your connection. They were necessary preparation, just as yours were for you. Every heart that touched theirs before you was helping shape them into the person who could one day meet you where you need to be met. Instead of jealousy, try gratitude for those who helped them grow. The timing that feels all wrong might actually be perfect. We judge situations based on our limited human perspective, but the universe operates on a timeline that encompasses lifetimes. What seems like delay now might be the exact incubation period required for what's meant to blossom between you. Your intuition has been whispering truths to you this whole time. Those gut feelings you can't explain, the sudden knowings that come out of nowhere, that's your higher self communicating. It already sees the bigger picture your conscious mind is still piecing together. The more you learn to trust these nudges, the clearer your path becomes. Their resistance isn't about your worth, it's about their readiness. Sometimes we encounter the right person at the wrong time, Not because the connection isn't real, but because one soul needs more seasoning before it can fully show up. This doesn't negate the truth between you. It just means the manifestation requires patience. The synchronicities you've been noticing are confirmation markers. Repeated numbers, unexpected encounters, songs that seem to follow you. These are the universe's way of saying you're on the right path. The more you acknowledge them, the more they multiply, creating a breadcrumb trail back to each other when the time is right. Your fear that they'll never see your value says more about your own healing journey than their perception. Often, we project our self-doubts onto others, assuming they see us the way we sometimes see ourselves. The work here isn't. The memories that surface unexpectedly are soul reminders. When a particular moment pops into your consciousness out of nowhere, it's not random nostalgia. It's your higher self highlighting an important piece of the puzzle, saying, "Pay attention to this. It matters more than you realized at the time." Their emotional unavailability isn't a permanent state. People grow when life gives them no other choice. What looks like a wall right now is actually a cocoon. The person who emerges will be someone capable of depths they can't currently access. Your role isn't to rush this process, but to trust it. That book that fell open to the perfect page, that stranger who said exactly what you needed to hear. These aren't accidents. They're examples of how the universe conspires to support soul connections. When something is meant to be, reality itself bends to facilitate it in ways both obvious and subtle. Your frustration with the process is natural, but consider this. The most profound transformations often feel like nothing is happening until suddenly everything has changed. Growth occurs beneath the surface long before it becomes visible. What you're experiencing now is the underground, work that makes the blossoming possible. Their social media activity, or lack thereof, means nothing. In the digital age, we've been conditioned to equate online presence with emotional reality. But this is a false metric. Someone can post constantly while being emotionally checked out, or disappear online while working through deep internal shifts. The truth exists beyond the feed. The signs you're looking for are already everywhere. We often miss guidance because we're expecting burning bushes when the universe speaks in whispers. That song lyric that stuck with you, that overheard conversation, that resonated. These are the love letters the cosmos sends to those paying attention. Your desire to reach out comes in waves because energy moves rhythmically. There are times when the pull between you intensifies naturally, followed by periods of quiet. These ebbs and flows don't indicate changing feelings, but rather the natural pulse of energetic connection that exists beyond linear time. Their past doesn't disqualify them from your future. Every experience they've had, the heartbreaks, the mistakes, the detours, has been preparing them for what you could build together. The person you're meant to love isn't someone who never fell, but someone who learned how to rise. The doubts that creep in aren't truth tellers. They're fear's last stand. When something real comes along, the part of us that's been hurt before will scramble to find reasons it won't work. Recognize these thoughts for what they are, protection mechanisms, not prophecies. That project you've been putting off? Start it. The class you've wanted to take? Sign up. Your personal growth isn't separate from your love story. It's the foundation. The more you become who you're meant to be, the more you magnetize the right connections at the right time. Their mixed signals reflect mixed feelings, not about you, but about their own readiness. When someone encounters a connection that could change everything, It's natural to oscillate between excitement and terror. What looks like inconsistency is often the visible tremor of profound internal shifts. The right person, wrong time idea misses a crucial point. Sometimes the wrong time is exactly what makes someone the right person. The challenges you face now are forging the resilience your future relationship will require. The obstacles aren't blocking your path. They are the path. Your ability to love them despite uncertainty is a gift, both to them and to yourself. This capacity to hold space for something not yet fully formed is the mark of emotional maturity. Not everyone can do this, and that's why not everyone experiences connections like yours. The questions keeping you up at night will resolve in time. Not through forced answers, but through natural unfolding. Some mysteries aren't meant to be solved intellectually, but experienced emotionally as the story reveals itself piece by inevitable piece. Their growth isn't your responsibility, but your patience is your power. You can't rush someone's healing timeline, but you can refuse to abandon your own peace while they catch up. This balance between faith and boundaries is where real love learns to breathe. The future you imagine isn't fantasy. It's foresight. The visions that come to you in quiet moments, the scenarios that play out in your mind's eye. These aren't just wishes. They're previews, glimpses of potentials that already exist in the quantum field, waiting for the right conditions to materialize. Your heart knows what your mind struggles to accept. This is why logic can't talk you out of your feelings. Some connections operate on a level deeper than reason, and trying to analyze them with your thinking mind is like trying to taste colors. You're using the wrong sense for the experience. The love you're waiting for is already here. Maybe not in the form you expected, but in the form you need right now. Sometimes love shows up first as longing, as growth, as patience. All necessary ingredients before it can manifest as partnership. You're not waiting for love. You're in its early stages. This isn't the end of your story. It's the messy middle where character is forged and foundations are laid. Every great love has these chapters, the ones that don't make the highlight reel, but make the relationship bulletproof. What feels like waiting is actually building. They're coming. Not on your timeline, but on the one that will make sense when you look back. Until then, live. Not as someone paused, but as someone preparing. The love that finds you while you're